Hello. Most of you listening to this message will not have heard of the English sailor Jack Crawford. Jack was from Sunderland. You probably have heard the saying, "Nail your colours to the mast." This has come to mean to defiantly display one's opinions and beliefs and to hold fast to these to the very end. Now, you're getting a history lesson here. At the Battle of Camperdown off the Dutch coast, 11th of October 1797, Venerable was Admiral Duncan's flagship. During the battle, part of the Venerable's mast was felled, including the Admiral's flag. Now, lowering the Admiral's personal flag was a sign of surrender, and even an unintentional fall was unacceptable. Despite being under intense gunfire, Jack Crawford climbed the mast and nailed the colours to the top. And that is the story behind the saying. It was quite a feat of bravery, truth be told. There are many remarkable characters in the Bible who showed great defiance in the name of the Lord against all odds, and we often hear the stories to this day. Three men in particular spring to mind. They were Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. They were thrown into a furnace of fire by Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, for refusing to bow down to the king's image. In Daniel chapter 3 they said, "If we are thrown into the blazing furnace, the God we serve is able to deliver us from it, and he will deliver us from your majesty's hand. But even if he does not, we want you to know, your majesty, that we will not serve your gods or worship the image of gold that you have set up." It's a favourite story for many of us and a great encouraging example. But how many of us would show such bravery today? How many of us are dedicated to the Lord to spend even 5 minutes in prayer or to spend 5 minutes in the Word? How many of us hold the Bible as the final truth? How many of us have real fulfillment in Him? This question can be answered, at least to some extent, by how we treat our spouses. If you're pressurizing your husband into providing beyond what his income allows, you're not trusting God, for God is your provider. You're expecting your husband to play God in your home. Yet, at the same time, you won't even allow him to be the head of the home as God ordained. If that language sounds foreign to you, you haven't familiarized yourself with, much less allowed yourself to be submitted to, Ephesians 5:23. Husbands do fail to be the heads of their homes because they don't know who God is. They don't know God's edicts, and thus they don't know the responsibility that they carry. With the failures by people to be true in the small everyday things, how could we ever make a real quality decision in a critical moment? How could we ever climb the mast and nail our colours to it in the heat of battle like good old Jack Crawford did?